CBS 46 right now following two breaking news stories. We are on the scene of a hotel in Alpharetta. Police are there too. They are reporting a homicide here. A live report is just moments away. And there's this, a little boy dropped off at a daycare, no identification or parents. There are plenty of questions remaining about what happened to him, even after his parents have now been located.
CBS 46 News at 4 starts now.
Hello, everyone. I'm Sharon Reed.
And I'm Tracy Hutchinson for Ben Swan. Breaking news is first at 4 o'clock. Right now, police are at a hotel in Alpharetta. That's where they found one woman dead and another person who was rushed to the hospital.
Now, all of this is going on at the Homewood Suites by Hilton. That's on Davis Drive. CBS 46's Keith Whitney is working this story right now. And Keith, tell us what you've learned from the scene there.
Yeah, Sharon, I can tell you this. Right now, detectives are on the third floor of the Homewood Suites Hotel here in Alpharetta. They're going through the rooms, going through their investigation, trying to figure out exactly what they have on their hands. They know that they have a woman who was found deceased in that room and another woman who was found critically hurt in that room as well. Now, to pick up the narrative, I have George Gordon, who's public affairs officer from Alpharetta. George, first of all, thanks for joining me. Tell me exactly what we've got going on.
Well, basically, approximately 1:30 this afternoon, Alpharetta Police, we were notified that assistance was needed at the hotel for a welfare check. We had management at the hotel that knocked on a door and they didn't get any response, and they had occupants that were supposed to check out, and they actually wanted to get a cleaning crew into the room. So Alpharetta Police responded. Our officers entered the room, and we did discover one female that was in the room deceased, and we discovered a second female that was in medical distress, critical condition. We got that female transported to the North Fulton Hospital, and at that point, we contacted investigators to come to the scene because we started an investigation to determine if, in fact, this was a homicide or some other type crime. At this point, we are investigating this as a homicide. It's unknown yet if the two parties in the room were the only ones involved. Evidence would lead us that that is a possibility, but we simply don't have that answer yet. So we have an investigation underway, trying to discover what led to this event.
All right, George Gordon with Alpharetta PD, thank you for your time. We'll be talking to you a little bit later on. Again, as you heard, one person dead, another person critically injured. We do not know exactly how those wounds came about. We don't know if there were weapons involved, drugs involved, but as you heard, it is a possible homicide that they're looking into, and we'll have more details on this a little bit later on. So for now, I'm going to throw it back to you in the studio. Keith Whitney in Alpharetta, CBS 46 News.
Keith, thank you. Of course, he will stay on that story with that new information. The other story breaking this afternoon, a toddler dropped off at a daycare by mistake. It happened at Globes Daycare. That's on Myrtle Street in Atlanta. That child is okay. As CBS 46's Dante Renzulli shows us, it's been a frantic afternoon for everyone involved.
It certainly has. Let me tell you how it all went down. This morning at the Globe Daycare, which is on Myrtle Drive Southwest right behind me, somebody dropped off a 3-year-old who is not that child's mother. Now, it was a very quick exchange. They ended up dropping him off, saying thank you very much, and leaving before anybody knew who they were. Let's show you a picture of that child. Here he is. He's a 3-year-old Cameron. Last name's being withheld. What happened was the daycare workers quickly figured out he didn't belong there, but they didn't know what to do. So they called police, and the police in turn called the media, and the owner of the daycare explained what happened next.
Yes, they figured it out. They by airing in terms of the news, and mom is on her way to go get him.
Yeah, so the mother actually saw a news report stating exactly what took place here, and apparently there was some sort of mix-up where a friend or a relative was supposed to drop the child off at a different daycare, but after several hours they were able to get that all straightened out, and the mother is being reunited with the child right now. Police are not bringing any charges. They're calling this a simple misunderstanding. We're in Southwest Atlanta. I'm Dante Renzulli, CBS 46 News.
Dante, thank you. And of course, stay with CBS 46 for updates on these breaking news stories. We'll have updates for you on the CBS 46 mobile app, as well as right here on air and online.
Let's turn now to the special elections to be held tomorrow. Voters in DeKalb County's new city of Stonecrest, they'll be casting ballots for the first time, and already controversy is erupting and allegations of some serious dirty politics. One of the mayoral candidates is defending himself after a flyer was sent out with serious accusations about him that he says are false. CBS 46's Megan Packer is live in Stonecrest to sort it all out. Now, Megan, you spoke with Charles Hill about this. What did he say?
I did, Sharon, and he says not only are the accusations made against him false, but he says they target people and attack people with mental health issues. He doesn't know who sent the flyer out, but he tells me he didn't think politics would get this dirty.
Bipolar, manic, depressive. The words are plastered over Charles Hill's face on this mailer sent out to voters targeting the Stonecrest mayoral candidate.
I never in a million years could have imagined that someone would resort to these type of tactics.
He says the accusations about his mental health, including that he's been declared mentally ill, are false. It also brings his father into it. Hill is also upset whoever sent this out uses a picture of Anthony Hill, an unarmed, naked veteran shot and killed by police in DeKalb County.
This was something that is an attack on all folks that suffer with a mental illness.
A day before the election, he spoke out with supporters by his side, including his father and his own primary care doctor.
There's no psychiatric disorder whatsoever.
Amos King with Justice for Veterans also denounced the use of Anthony Hill's photo.
I'm just appalled at what I saw in the flyer that came out depicting one of our heroes in such a tragic situation of some politics.
Many here say this takes dirty politics to a new low.
And the two other mayoral candidates in the race say this is appalling and goes too far. Now, that mailer says that it comes from a group called Blueprint to Restore DeKalb, and it does give an address. All new at 6 o'clock. I'll show you what happened when we went to that address today. For now, live in Stonecrest in DeKalb County, Megan Packer, CBS 46 News.
Megan, thank you. We'll see you at 6. Now, CBS 46 with an in-depth look at the newly formed city of Stonecrest. Voters, they approved the city last November. It's a city of roughly 50,000 people in southeast DeKalb County. It is near Interstate 20 and Stonecrest Mall. It borders the city of Lithonia. Now, tomorrow, voters there will choose from 20 candidates running for mayor and 5 city council posts. Now, those candidates include 19-year-old Mary Pat Hector. She is running for city council, one of the youngest candidates ever to run for an elected office in the state of Georgia. Now, as we first told you last month, the Lithonia native's candidacy was challenged by an opponent because of her age. The DeKalb County Board of Elections ruled Hector, a sophomore at Spelman College, can indeed run. Tracy?
Well, Sharon, let's talk about our weather right now. We are celebrating the start of spring. Here's a live look outside at Lake Lanier. Beautiful day as we usher in the new season today. But another cool down, it is on the way. CBS 46 meteorologist Ella Dorsey in for Jim Kosick this afternoon. And Ella, what are you tracking for us?
Yeah, that cool down's not going to come for a few days. For right now, we got to enjoy the spring-like temperatures. It's 75 degrees outside with just a light westerly wind. It feels great, and it's going to continue to feel great through the evening. Probably a beautiful sunset right around 8 p.m. with some of those high cirrus clouds. Temperatures will remain in the upper 50s pretty much through midnight tonight. So you can grill out, go for a late evening walk, and enjoy the spring-like weather. Overnight tonight, very mild. Most areas will remain in the mid to upper 50s with partly cloudy skies. But tomorrow, it's going to be warm. It'll feel almost like summer out there with temperatures near 80 degrees. We are talking about the potential for some stronger storms tomorrow afternoon and evening. So stay tuned. I'll have details on that after the break. Tracy?
We will see you then, Ella. Thank you. You can keep track of the weather in between newscasts with our CBS 46 weather app. It's free for you to download.
CBS 46 obtains new surveillance video. It relates to a fatal officer-involved shooting, and it happened early Saturday morning in College Park. As CBS 46's Ashley Thompson reports, there are more questions today than answers, even though we have been pressing the GBI for much more.
A security camera from a Chevron gas station captures the final moments as a man escaping police crashes his car into a tree. The video is difficult to see. You can see the smoke from the crash and then a police car pulling up immediately after impact. The incident began half a mile away at the Baby Grand Piano Bar early Saturday morning. A Fulton County police officer responding to a call about a person struck by a car. What happened next is unclear. The GBI does say the officer and a bar security guard both fired shots at the car they believed had just struck someone. The driver then speeds away, crashing his car upside down by the Chevron. Paramedics rushed the man to Grady Hospital where he died. Police identify him as 29-year-old Willie Ivy. We've learned he came to Atlanta 5 years ago from California. The GBI needs eyewitnesses to come forward.
The reason why there were limited details that were released was because there just really truly there were a lack of witnesses that were at the scene.
We are pressing the GBI for answers, but it is releasing few details. We don't know why the officer and the security guard fired their weapons. We don't know whether the man died from a bullet wound or from injuries in the crash. Someone was indeed struck by a car, but the GBI is not releasing further details. The GBI joined the investigation at 7 a.m., 3 hours after it happened. I also called Fulton County Police to ask for their police report. I was told it's not ready. The GBI's report is supposed to come down sometime either later today or tomorrow morning. Coming up at 5, I speak with someone who knew Ivy well. Hear what he has to say about this investigation. In Fulton County, Ashley Thompson, CBS 46 News.
Right now, Decatur police are searching for 2 gunmen after a violent home invasion. It happened right after midnight in DeKalb County on Tregony Drive. Police say those 2 gunmen forced their way inside an apartment and opened fire. One woman was shot while she was holding her baby. The gunman grabbed a jar full of money and ran away. The victims sell snacks from their apartment. Some living nearby say access to easy money may have been in the motive.
Messed up how people they ain't take from other people and they ain't even really doing it. They need to get a job and go work for it. They own self instead of just robbing somebody.
Now the 2 who were shot are said to be okay. If you have any information on this crime, you're urged to call Crime Stoppers at 44577-TIPS.
Tough questions on Capitol Hill.
Up next, what the FBI director says about President Trump's wiretapping allegations and his potential ties to Russia.
And there's this, the mystery over the missing Tom Brady jersey. The new information today about who had it and where it was found.
We are 25 days away from the home opener here at SunTrust Park, and the Braves are trying to change fans' mentality when they come out here for a game. I'm Ayanna Crystal. I'll have that story coming up.
It's nice today, but we are going to see the potential for some strong storms tomorrow. I'll let you know what and when to expect those storms after the break.
Welcome back. Today is the last day to register to vote in one of the country's most watched political races. The empty seat in Georgia's 6th congressional district covers parts of Fulton, DeKalb, and Cobb counties. It was left vacant by new Health and Human Services Secretary Tom Price when Price joined President Trump's administration earlier this year. Nearly 20 candidates have since filed for the special election. It will be held April 18th.
I think we have sort of a momentum advantage in that there was, so much interest and so much activity in November. It's not like you're coming off a drought of elections where you're now having to get a bunch of new people registered.
All voter registration applications must be submitted online or postmarked today before midnight. Advance in-person voting, that starts next Monday, March 27th.
Let's turn now to the president's first 100 days in office. Right now, Congress is holding its first public hearing looking into allegations of Russian interference in the 2016 presidential election. CBS News correspondent Weijia Jiang is on Capitol Hill with more tough questions lawmakers had for the head of the FBI.
I have been authorized by the Department of Justice to confirm that the FBI, as part of our counterintelligence mission, is investigating the Russian government's efforts to interfere in the 2016 presidential election.
FBI Director James Comey broke with normal protocol to reveal the Bureau is looking into Russian interference in the 2016 U.S. presidential election.
All I can tell you is what we're investigating, which includes whether there was any coordination between people associated with the Trump campaign and the Russians.
President Trump has apparently been watching the hearing. He tweeted out comments about it Monday afternoon. The president seized on Director Comey's refusal to discuss conversations with President Obama, but Comey did not talk about any specific detail of the investigation.
It's not something I can comment on.
Comey did refute President Trump's tweets claiming President Barack Obama wiretapped Trump Tower during the campaign.
So President Obama could not unilaterally order a wiretap of anyone?
No president could.
The Department of Justice doesn't have any evidence to support the accusation either. Weijia Jiang, CBS News, Capitol Hill.
The mystery ends over Tom Brady's missing Super Bowl jersey. The NFL announcing it found Brady's missing jersey from Super Bowl 51, along with another missing jersey of his from Super Bowl 49. Brady realized.
Certified Atlanta's most accurate forecast for the 3rd year in a row. Now CBS 46 meteorologist Ella Dorsey.
Spring is finally here, but we have some bad news about one of the spring highlights in Washington, D.C. The late blast of cold weather last week destroyed half of the cherry blossoms there, and that's Washington's signature tree. Just as they were about to reach the peak of their bloom, they actually began blooming very early because of the very warm January and February, and then we had a streak of about 7 days with freezing temperatures there. For that reason, those blooms were damaged, and we felt the cold here too, but that now has passed and we're back up above average. It is 75 degrees outside. There were some clouds earlier. Those have cleared out. Those clouds were due to a little bit of a system pushing through the Ohio Valley. You can see just some cloud cover up in parts of Tennessee, but again, those skies are now clearing and it's going to be really, really nice through the evening hours. Temperatures will hover in the upper 60s even until around sunset tonight. So if you want to take a late evening stroll, it is going to be a fabulous night to do so. And overnight tonight, temperatures only drop about 10 or 15 degrees into the upper 50s. So a light jacket is all you need when you head out the door tomorrow. What we need to talk about is the threat for severe weather tomorrow afternoon and evening. We begin the day tomorrow with partly cloudy skies. Through the first half of the day, it will be dry outside with variable cloudiness. Temperatures are going to spike into the 70s by the time you eat lunch. It is going to be warm, so you can go ahead and eat on the patio for lunch tomorrow. But then through the afternoon, as a cold front begins to drop in from the north, we see the rain chances and the storm chances increase. By 5 p.m., about a 20% chance for showers, mainly from Canton up to the north. North Georgia counties will see this rain first. Look at these high temperatures in the low 80s tomorrow. The biggest threat for those storms is going to be between about 6 and 10 p.m. for Atlanta and Metro, especially areas off to the east. A few of these storms could be strong to severe, and they'll be slow moving, so they could also drop a lot of rain. As this front pushes through, skies clear out overnight into Wednesday. Here's a look at the storm risk. No tornado risk, but a medium risk for hail, lightning, wind, and again, that flood risk. It's not going to be necessarily a widespread rain event, but you could see some of these pockets, just some isolated areas could pick up to 1, 2, or even 3 inches of rain. That's the reason that the flood threat is there. High temperatures tomorrow in the low 80s from Atlanta down to the south. Usually we only get one day of 80 degrees in March, and it's typically the last day in March. This year it could be about 10 days early, which would be tomorrow. And you can see really from March to May, those 80-degree days really jump up. So if you don't like the warmer weather, just enjoy Thursday, because look, temperatures will drop by about 25 degrees into the mid-50s by Thursday. We could get some more rain overnight Wednesday into Thursday, and it does look like this weekend is going to be pretty wet as well. Roller coaster spring temperatures, that's what you can expect here in Georgia.
At least spring is here, though.
Yeah. No, at least no more 20s, right?
Yeah, not for a while. Thank you, Ella.
CBS 46 News has been on the front lines of investigating the opioid epidemic in our country.
Today we explore a new study that looks at children who get their hands on the dangerous drugs and what parents should do to prevent it.
Let's look at the action on Wall Street today. The Dow Jones Industrials fell some 9 points to close out the day at 20,905. NASDAQ, that rose 0.5 point, and the S&P 500 dropped 3.5 points. Well, we've been reporting on the opioid epidemic in the U.S. for more than a year. Now, a new study finds poison control centers in the U.S. receive 32 calls a day about children being exposed to prescription drugs.
Well, doctors say there is a disconnect between what parents know they should do and what they actually do to keep medications out of the hands of their children. CBS 46's Danielle Nottingham investigates how you can keep your kids safe.
The number of children exposed to prescription opioids has fallen since 2009, but levels are still up from 2000, and that has doctors concerned.
Lots of bad things can happen when children get into these medicines. Children getting sleepy, even to the point of coma and death, and children getting respiratory depression where they decrease breathing or even stop breathing.
A study in the journal Pediatrics found the main groups at risk for exposure are curious youngsters under 5 and teenagers looking to either get high or harm themselves. And while pediatric exposure to most prescription painkillers has declined, exposure to buprenorphine continues to climb. It's prescribed to people who've previously been addicted to drugs.
Buprenorphine is the safest for the addicts. Turns out to be extremely dangerous to young children.
The group Save Kids Worldwide says each year 60,000 kids, or 4 busloads, wind up in emergency rooms because they got into medicine.
Parents should keep medication stored up and away, out of sight and out of reach every time after every single use.
Parents are also advised to keep medicine in its original packaging. Start practicing safe storage as soon as your first child is born, and save the poison help number in your phone, as well as posting it in the house. Danielle Nottingham at CBS News, Los Angeles.
CBS 46 with a closer look at opioid use inside the U.S. According to the Atlanta-based Centers for Disease Control, since 1999, the amount of prescription opioids sold in the U.S. nearly quadrupled. Yet there has not been any overall change in the amount of pain that Americans report. Now, from 2000 to 2015, overdoses, they skyrocketed, with more than 500,000 people dying from overdoses during that period. 91 Americans die every single day from an opioid overdose. Atlanta Braves are selling as quickly as Greg Maddox's fastball.
So fast, you may even strike out if you make a game day decision to finally buy some.
And there's this, the clock is ticking toward deadline day at the state capitol. CBS 46 News is exploring bills hang in the balance.
And here's what's coming up tonight on CBS 46 at 8 o'clock. Kevin Can Wait. Then at 8:30, Man with a Plan. At 9, you can watch Superior Donuts, followed by Two Broke Girls. Then at 10, Scorpion. Make sure you stay up with us for CBS 46 News at 11. Now at 4:30, the countdown is on to the Braves' first game at SunTrust Park. Here's a live look at the park from the Circle 75 Office Park camera. First day of spring and a perfect day to play ball. Well, in just a few weeks, it'll be packed for opening day on Friday, April 14th. Some longtime fans, though, are complaining they're being left behind. Tickets to opening day, they're the hottest things around. That game sold out in just 60 seconds.
Yeah, but fans are finding it difficult to buy tickets to other games, too, and that may not change as the season goes on. CBS 46 is live at SunTrust Park in Cobb County to explain why that is exactly. Ayana?
Sharon, if you make decisions last minute about going to the Braves game, the plan ahead. So they are encouraging fans to purchase tickets for parking ahead of the game, because it will be a headache for you. You may see yourself without a ticket down at their new ballpark.
Team on the field.
The new home for the Braves moving out to Cobb County. Fans are concerned with the traffic.
If I'm working here, it's going to be, less convenient, and that's unfortunate. So I think it'll be, unfortunate to have to commute there.
It could be a mistake, maybe, because of the traffic. That's how I personally feel about it, but we'll see how it goes.
The traffic over there is already crazy. So if I can't get there by public transportation, I don't know how likely I would be to sit in traffic to get there, plus pay for parking, and then pay more to have a ticket. We probably won't be going that often.
That's why the Braves are encouraging fans to plan ahead, especially if you are driving.
If you are driving and you are looking to park, one of the differences here is that our parking is spread 360 degrees around the stadium. So knowing that before you get in your car and set off, will really give you that specific location to get you not just to a general address here, but directly to where your parking lot is.
If you are a last-minute planner and like to walk up and buy tickets, Braves say that may not be an option this season.
It's a new experience for Braves fans, whereas, in the past, you could walk up to Turner Field and go to the window and purchase a ticket. I think with the heightened demand because of the team and because of the new facility, people are getting their tickets earlier.
So right now, Braves tickets are definitely in high demand. Now, coming up at 5:30, we talked to some Braves fans who like the idea of being able to walk up and purchase their tickets on game day. And if they don't have that option, they say they may not be attending as many Braves games. For now, we're live at SunTrust Park. Ayanna Crystal, CBS 46 News.
Certainly is understandable. Ayanna, thank you. CBS 46 going in depth on SunTrust Park. The new home of the Braves has 41,500 seats, and that includes 4,000 premium seats. Compare that to 49,586 seats in the Braves' old stadium, Turner Field.
SunTrust Park is not the only major league stadium in Atlanta getting the attention right now. The future home of the Falcons and Atlanta United, well, it's making environmental breakthroughs. I want to give you a live look at the $1.5 billion Mercedes-Benz Stadium. It's still under construction in downtown Atlanta now, but it will be the most environmentally friendly NFL stadium ever. The stadium will use 47% less water and 20% less energy than the typical stadium. The stadium's GM says that's because of the 4,000 solar panels installed along that state-of-the-art, along with the state-of-the-art water efficiency system.
CBS 46 News has learned police have found an SUV seen leaving a shooting at West End Mall on Friday. Remember, we showed you the scene. The gunmen, they're still on the loose. 2 men and a woman were shot. Investigators say an argument that began inside the mall then spilled over outside. They believe the shooting may have been drug or gang related, as we reported. Sandy Springs police need your help to identify a robber. Surveillance video shows the man getting out of a dark gray Jeep at the Citgo on Roswell Road March 8th. He walks up to the victim. He takes an iPhone and lottery ticket. He then takes off, heading north on Roswell Road. If you've seen him, if you have any information, Crime Stoppers has a reward for any information. Hey, don't forget to let us know if you see news happening in your neighborhood. Email your photos and videos to spotnews@cbs46.com.
A railroad crossing is back open this afternoon after a train derailment happened just after midnight, and it shut down that roadway for hours. The railroad crossing is at Bowman Mill Road and Atlanta Highway in Winder. That's in Barrow County. CBS 46 was there as emergency crews worked for hours to get the railroad cars upright. No one was hurt and no hazmat spills were reported. We are still working to learn, though, why those trains derailed in the first place. Once we find out, we will let you know. In Gwinnett County, investigators are looking into the cause of a house fire. Chopper 46 was over the scene in the 1400 block of Sir Knight's Way. That's in Lawrenceville. This all happened around noon. 2 people were home when that fire started. Both of them were able to make it out okay. Damage to that home, though, is extensive.
Let's turn to state politics now. The last day of the legislative session is almost here, Thursday, March 30th. CBS 46's Rebecca Schramm reports lawmakers are under deadline to get bills passed.
They might take a moment to enjoy PB&J Day at the state capitol.
All right, thank you very much.
But just about everybody here is on some other mission.
This little boy, Gerald, he's my second child of 4 children, and he was born with hearing loss.
This group is here to try to get the R word removed from state code.
And the R word is moving retardation.
We're primarily interested in the campus carry bill.
Campus carry is one of the most controversial of the bills, still undecided. Same for a bill that would expand access to cannabis oil for medical purposes. The state budget, which includes a 2% pay increase for teachers and a 20% increase for law enforcement officers, hasn't been approved either.
There's a lot of excitement right now.
With just a few days left in the legislative session, everybody here understands that this is the time when you cannot fall asleep at the wheel. If you blink, you might miss an important opportunity with your legislation.
We've learned very quickly it can get very crowded up here.
It's nuts. I mean, we should be driving carpool, but we're sitting in committee meetings and rules meetings and getting to the House floor. I mean, it's quite a journey.
Sarah Kogan and her children have spoken with almost every state lawmaker.
This bill is going to pass, okay? It's going to pass.
I think we are making a difference, and I think that's what is great about the American system, is that we do have the right to come here and have our voice heard.
Time's running out to be heard. After next Thursday, for some, it starts all over again next year. At the state capitol, Rebecca Schramm, CBS 46 News.
Coming up all new at 5, CBS 46 political reporter Giovanna Derpick takes a closer look at a bill that closes a loophole that allows some sex offenders to get just too close to children. Now, something people do every day could put themselves and you at risk on the roads.
Up next, see what's being done to cut down on drowsy driving.
And coming up after the break, we'll take a look at the very warm day we're in for tomorrow and the possibility for some storms tomorrow evening.
Well, it is something a lot of us have done, gotten behind the wheel without getting enough sleep. Sometimes that can have devastating, even deadly consequences.
Very dangerous. According to the AAA, 1 in 5 fatal crashes involve drowsy driving. CBS 46's Amanda Davis with a closer look now at what's being done to change that.
A new report from the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration estimates there are more than 1 million crashes every year because of drowsy driving, killing up to 8,000 people. Well, now the government group wants to see changes to help reduce the number of crashes. This dash cam video shows what can happen when a driver dozes off. 6 years ago, Carrie Warren lost her son Tyler in a crash. Police say he fell asleep at the wheel.
I remember screaming at the top of my lungs and sort of collapsing because that couldn't be true.
The National Highway Traffic Safety Administration says steps need to be taken to prevent drowsy driving, including more signs warning people of the dangers. The group is also calling for more states to make laws that punish drivers who fall asleep at the wheel.
Mercedes-Benz has developed Attention Assist.
Technology may also help. Several automakers, including Mercedes and Ford, have systems that read your steering habits and can detect when you are drowsy.
It gives you an audible and visual warning in your instrument cluster.
If people are reminded that they need to pull over and rest, that's certainly a good thing.
But Kelsey Mays from Cars.com says people shouldn't rely on their vehicle alone to wake them up.
It's important that you recognize the signs of your own drowsiness before you really get behind the wheel.
Doing so could mean the difference between life and death. We checked with AAA, and they tell us 3 out of 10 drivers have admitted to driving when they were so tired they couldn't keep their eyes open. I'm Amanda Davis, CBS 46 News.
CBS 46 going in depth on the not so obvious signs of driving while drowsy. According to AAA, the warning signs include difficulty focusing or frequent blinking. That's a key. Daydreaming or wandering thoughts, trouble remembering the last few miles driven, and feeling restless or irritable. If you experience any of these while you're on a road trip, they are signs you need to pull over and give yourself a break.
Well, spring is here, but that doesn't mean that chilly weather is gone for good.
Here's a live look outside. CBS 46 meteorologist Ella Dorsey is in today with when the cold returns and how deep those temperatures will drop.
And the video doesn't lie. Twin toddlers caught going wild, and they were supposed to be asleep at the time.
Welcome back. Breaking news from southeast Atlanta, where we've learned police say 2 people shot, 2 men. Ormwood and Confederate. The victims, we've learned, were taken to Atlanta Medical Center, and police say those men were alert at the time of transport. CBS 46 has 2 crews now on the way to this scene, and we're working hard already to learn a motive. And of course, we'll update you on air and online at CBS46.com as details. CBS 46 also on top of this breaking news in Alpharetta. We brought it to you at the top of the newscast. A homicide investigation underway at the Homewood Suites on Davis Drive. Chopper 46 flew over the scene. This is footage from about an hour ago, but it's still very active. Police telling CBS 46 1 woman was found dead. Paramedics rushed another person to the hospital. And CBS 46's Keith Whitney is at the scene. He is pressing for more information about this. A live report from Keith is coming up at 5.
Well, now to consumer news. Although IKEA is known for affordable home decor, it is also expanding its line of appliances, dishwashers, refrigerators, and ranges, some at prices less than half of the competition. But does the old saying, you get what you pay for, hold true in this case? CBS 46 morning anchor Bobby Capel puts the products to the test.
IKEAs are as popular now as they've ever been. In fact, there's one just down the street from us right here in Midtown Atlanta. So you knew you could get household items there, but did you know that their appliance sales continue to grow? So are they any good? We put them to the test. When Luis Paliaz was renovating his house, he chose his appliances from IKEA.
It was just easy to buy everything in one place.
Even though some of the names are odd, most of the appliances are manufactured by Whirlpool. Consumer Reports recently tested a variety of appliances available at IKEA, including ranges, refrigerators, dishwashers, a cooktop, and even a microwave. The results were mixed. This $280 Lagan dishwasher tested noisy, and the cycle time is long at 160 minutes. But this $400 dishwasher, the Renlig, does an excellent job cleaning and drying dishes and takes only 115 minutes. The Betrod gas range for $800 did a better job cooking than some non-IKEA models that cost $2,000 or more. It gave very good baking results and has a convection mode, but it didn't do well broiling burgers. This $1,500 Nutit French door refrigerator has excellent temperature control and energy efficiency, performing better than similar refrigerators that are double the price. If you're installing more than one large appliance, shopping in one place can be convenient.
Everything got delivered in one shot. Didn't have to worry about multiple deliveries.
IKEA has stores in 25 different states, and some of their products are available online as well. Bobby Capel, CBS 46 News.
Got to show you this video. When you put your kids to bed, you certainly hope they stay there, but not the case with these twin toddlers. This is New York City. Well, you can see they got busy as soon as their parents left the room. It's time-lapse video of all-night antics. It's like they're in a fraternity or something. Now, they hoisted themselves out of the cribs. They moved cushions around. They rolled around on the floor. They even sat on the sofa and kind of just lounged for a little bit. Their father posted the video online with the caption, "When the parents are away, the Cubs will play, even if it comes at the expense of sleep."
Oh my
they just
goodness.
keep going and
they
going
do.
and going.
Just endless energy. Hopefully they got tired enough that they actually did fall asleep by the end of the night. It was probably morning by the time they got done.
Right, that's what I'm saying. I mean, kids are that active all the time, but at night?
We know.
That's crazy.
Yeah, Mom probably came in, or Dad, and said, "Oh, why so sleepy? You need more rest." Yeah, up all night.
That is incredible. Well, it's going to be a great night to be outside. If you want to take the kids out in the back, you don't even need to put a jacket on them. Take a look at your current temperatures right now. 75 degrees. This is not normal. Okay, last week was very cold. The average high for this time of year is 66. So it's very warm out there, and it's also beautiful. And this warm air, it's working its way in from the west. Look at how warm it is from Missouri down through Louisiana. That warmth is going to continue to build in through the day tomorrow. It's due to high pressure, which centered right down off of the coast of Louisiana. Clockwise winds around that are bringing in that warm air. But we are going to see the chance for some rain from a cold front tomorrow. So here's a look. By tomorrow morning, still partly cloudy, very warm. You can see that front is just along the northern Tennessee border. It's going to slowly drop in through the afternoon. So for tomorrow during the day, it's going to be partly cloudy to mostly sunny. We'll begin to see just a few showers around 5 p.m. in the northern areas, and then through the evening we could see some of those stronger storms between about 5 and 11 p.m. as that front moves through. And then by Wednesday, we'll see mostly clear skies once again. So for right now, the Storm Prediction Center has areas just northern Fulton County all the way up through Tennessee, all the way over to Athens under a slight risk. That's that area in yellow. Those areas, so for the northern part of North Georgia, have a chance to see a few isolated severe storms tomorrow afternoon with hail, lightning, and heavy rainfall, as well as some gusty winds being the main threats. The tornado threat is not going to be there. But again, for the majority of the day tomorrow, it's going to be really nice. 60 degrees when you head out the door, 70 by noon. Partly cloudy to mostly cloudy skies. We'll begin to see those spotty showers around 4 p.m. and 8 p.m. is when Atlanta and Metro will have the highest chance for some storms. Again, as that front continues to push in, it's going to be very warm across the south tomorrow. First day above 80 degrees. By Wednesday, that front drops through, but it's still going to be pretty mild with temperatures in the upper 60s to low 70s. But by Thursday, we see cold air work its way in down the East Coast. High temperatures will only reach the 50s. For Atlanta, northeastern parts of our state could only reach the 40s on Thursday. So kind of some roller coaster temperatures to deal with this week. But hey, when you got 80s in the forecast, there's not a whole lot you can complain about. Unfortunately, though, it does look like next weekend will not be nearly as nice as this weekend was. It'll be mild outside, but we have a chance for some rain both Saturday and Sunday. So something to keep in mind there for the weekend coming up.
Yeah, water some of those spring flowers that a lot of people probably already planted.
Yeah, we're still in the drought, too, so we need all the rain we can get.
Yeah, Ella, thank you.
Well, join us again tomorrow at 4. If you ever have to replace all of your belongings after a disaster, such as a flood or a fire, you will need a detailed inventory for the insurance company. Tomorrow at 4, we're going to show you how a simple video and some apps can help.
Your clean clothes may be killing species that live in the water.
What one well-known clothing manufacturer is now doing to reduce or even eliminate that risk.
Parents, this is something that you're probably going to be surprised isn't already law in the state of Georgia. I'm Giovanna Dierpick, political reporter for CBS 46 News, and I'll let you know about a loophole that some lawmakers are trying to close to keep your children safe.
I'm meteorologist Paul Osmond. Tomorrow, get Atlanta's most accurate forecast as we're talking about a warming trend, and we're talking about temperatures maybe 15 degrees above normal for the first full day of spring. We're also going to be checking out our next chance of rain, maybe some storms. So join us tomorrow for CBS 46 Morning News. We're on from 4:30 to 7 a.m.
You're watching CBS 46 News. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter.
Welcome back. Losing weight, it could be as simple as a game app right on your cell phone. The Food Trainer app rewards dieters with points when they make good choices or when they choose food from the app's green circles. Foods that come up red, like chips and cookies, they've got to be avoided, of course. One woman says after repeatedly putting good foods on her online plate, well, it transferred into real life.
I think it's entirely subconscious. It's almost like I don't even look for those things or think about them or want them, or if they're there on the table, it's like my eye just passes over and there's no desire there, just no initial desire from my brain to put my hand out and take it.
Her tone's not very convincing. Now, researchers show dieters who tried this Food Trainer app, they took in 220 fewer calories, and their cravings for unhealthy food also diminished.
Well, the clothes in our closet may contribute to pollution in the ocean. More than 80% of marine pollution comes from what we do on land. Scientists found that fibers like those in synthetic clothing are contaminating aquatic life. CBS News correspondent Ben Tracy shows us how the company, one company anyway, is working to fix the problem.
They're in everything from yoga pants to running shorts to that soft, fuzzy fleece. Tiny shreds of plastic that shed in the wash and can be eaten by the same marine life we eat. Unlike dryers, most washing machines don't have filters that trap lint. So when you throw synthetic garments in the wash, material breaks off and can slip past sewage treatment plants and into waterways. The so-called microfibers have turned up in waters across the globe, including Lake Michigan and along the shores of the Gulf of Mexico.
When we see reports showing microfiber in the ocean, in fish, in plankton, you know, we're alarmed by its impact. And
Doug Freeman is Chief Operating Officer of Patagonia, which is trying to find a solution. The company, known for its outdoor apparel such as fleece jackets, funded a study on microfibers last year by the University of California, Santa Barbara. Researchers there found that a single synthetic fleece jacket released as much as 250,000 microfibers when washed in a machine. Newer, higher quality garments shed less than older ones.
Even a wastewater treatment plant that's filtering up to 95%, there's still a really high number that are getting through.
Project researcher Bess Ruff says underwater creatures can ingest the material.
For fish, a lot of times the microfibers are found in their intestines, and most of the times we're not eating that part. So direct ingestion with fish isn't as much of a concern, but with shellfish, they're actually getting embedded in the tissue, and that's the part that we eat.
If you're aware this is a significant problem and that you're contributing to it, why not just stop selling these items?
Because in many cases, these items have longer useful life than their biodegradable counterparts.
Ben Tracy, CBS News, Los Angeles.
Well, Patagonia hasn't yet changed how it designs its fleece. The company is working to find new fabrics that shed less. It also wants its customers to buy only the clothes they actually need and wash them less often.
CBS 46 News at 5 starts now.